all these hacks is consistency and genuine care about customer relationships, not just trying quick tricks or gimmicks for immediate results.
They build a long-term connection and provide real, genuine value, which is what is required for long-term loyalty and retention ultimately. Don't forget, measure the impact carefully so you can prove the ROI and justify expanding these programs over time. Hey, what's up, Chase?
Hey man, how are you?
Dude, what's with the shirt here?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. I didn't even realize what I was wearing. I normally am very simple, no prints, nothing crazy. This looks like I'm from another galaxy, huh?
I know, it looks like you got stars on your shirt. It's hilarious. It's a cool shirt, though. It's very cool. Very trendy.
Heck yeah. I appreciate that.
Built?
Uh, yes, it is
No,
actually,
of course.
surprisingly.
Of course. I'm pretty sure your entire wardrobe is by Built.
It is. I'm sponsored.
You're sponsored by Built. You know the
Yeah.
founder, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah, he's a buddy of mine. Not actually
Yeah.
sponsored. I wish, but
Yeah.
yes, he's a
No,
buddy.
but it's always good to support friends and make sure that they're successful and all that stuff. So, all right, dude. Well, we're talking low budgets, high impact retention marketing hacks. You ready to fire this thing off?
Yeah, let's run it.
All right, dude. In 3, 2, 1.
From the open to the click, they're the masters of the flow. Just watch your list grow and your leads turn to go. Did we retain you so far, or do we have to extend it? If you want results, you know you gotta send it. Yeah, you know you gotta send it. Yeah, you know you gotta send it. Yeah, you know you gotta send it.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Send It, where we discuss anything and everything retention marketing, specifically in email and SMS. My name is Jimmy Kim, and I'm here with my co-host,
Chase Dimond.
All right, Chase, episode 45. We're talking low budgets, high impact retention marketing hacks. Today, we're diving into one of our favorite topics, how to dramatically improve your retention marketing results without spending a fortune on new tools or fancy technology. So we will not be pitching you new tools to buy. We'll be telling you how to do this without it, because honestly, as marketers, we constantly hear from marketers who think that they need expensive tools, platforms, AI tools, and massive budgets. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but in order to compete with bigger brands, that's how they feel. But the truth is, some of the most effective retention marketing tactics cost almost nothing to implement.
That's exactly right. We've seen small brands with really basic email platforms completely outperform more kind of enterprise type companies with six-figure marketing stacks simply because they implemented smart, creative tactics that didn't require big investments.
Yeah. So today, on today's pod, what I want to do is I want to share 5 low budget, high impact retention hacks that any brand can implement immediately. It doesn't matter if you're a startup with a shoestring budget or even an established company looking for quick wins.
Awesome. Yeah, these are not going to be kind of gimmicky type tricks. These will be really proven strategies that leverage things like psychology, creativity, and smart thinking that are going to help you drive real retention results. And the best part, most of them can be implemented fairly quickly, maybe even as quickly as a simple afternoon.
Yeah, that's it. So let's get right to it and get right to the meat and potatoes of today's content here. So, our first hack is all about leveraging manual personalization and human touches that feel incredibly personal without requiring expensive automation tools.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably one of the more underrated retention tactics because brands assume that they need this really sophisticated technology to be able to deliver personalized experiences, when sometimes the most impactful personalization is really just manually.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's fascinating is that manual personalization often outperforms automated personalization because it feels genuinely human and unexpected. So to me, it breaks down to 3 simple things real quick. First, it's that strategic manual email and SMS customization. I'm talking about things like handwritten notes or personal messages to VIP customers. It's really easy to personalize. Personalized recommendations by based on browsing behavior that you observe manually. So these are creating little small segments of your top products or ones that you know go really well with another one. Custom email sequences, again, for high value customers or special situations. And even the personal follow ups. I think those are really strong, especially when you know someone left like a huge abandoned cart in the cart, and having a founder or teammate or like a key person inside the company reach out to them, right? These are like manual personalizations that you could be doing. Then you've got the second layer, which is like that human touch point optimization. I'm talking about like personal video messages recorded for specific customer segments, or again, going back to the handwritten note ideas that's included inside of shipments. I'm sure you've seen these ads before. I think Breeze just recently did this, but personal phone call or text from a milestone celebration. You've spent $1,000 with us. This is your 10th order, whatever it might be. And of course, even down to a custom product curation based on individual customer preferences. So there's that too. And then really the last manual one, which, we talk about a lot, is community building through personal engagement. I'm talking about founder brands, a marketing brand, whatever it might be, but personal responses to email replies and social media comments, individual customer shout outs, direct outreach to customers who share user generated content, or even a personal invite to an exclusive event or beta program. I mean, there's so much you can do. And what makes manual personalization so powerful is that it's completely unexpected in today's automated marketing world. Ultimately, when a customer receives something that's been clearly personally crafted for them, it creates this emotional connection that almost impossible to replicate with automation. And the truth is, the studies have shown that when I was researching this, people who receive personal touches have a 73% higher lifetime value and 5 times more likely to refer another brand. And that's really huge. And some of the ways that you can implement this, as I was thinking through this whole situation, is one, there's this weekly VIP customer outreach. And I'm not talking about a lot of work. Identify 20 customers each week and send them a personal message, include specific references to their purchase history, offer previews or early access, or even ask for feedback. And this doesn't take a lot of work, maybe 5-10 minutes per customer. So 20 of them, you're taking somewhere between 2-3 hours of your week, and having someone assigned and do this could really change the outcome of the retention side of things. And one of the other things that I saw was a really great idea, and I mentioned it earlier, is really having a founder Friday or founder Thursday or whatever it might be, a personal video message you're shooting, a really short personal message for different customer segments, like, hey, thanks for making your first time purchase, versus like, hey, you've purchased with us 5 times and I wanted to shoot you a video about this thing, right? It's not hard to kind of create those segments based on the data you have, and you want to address those specific challenges or celebrate those milestones, and even share behind the scenes. I think people who include these videos inside their email campaigns on top of sharing them as personal emails, great way to do it. And one of my favorite examples I've seen of this is a skincare brand that manually reviews every customer purchase history and sends personal routine recommendations via email. I've seen that before, and I think that's a really good one too as well.
Yeah, dude, I think that's brilliant because it ultimately provides like really genuine value while showing customers that someone actually cares about their specific, unique needs.
And the best part is it doesn't require any special technology, just time and attention to detail, which most brands can afford even on a tight budget.
Yes, and the key is to being, selective and strategic about where you apply this kind of manual personalization, so that way you can have this really maximum type impact.
Hey, it's Jimmy. Quick 15 seconds of your time because I have something fun to share. Did you know between the two of us, Chase and I, we have over 20 years of experience in email marketing? Recently, we put our minds together to create a certification program that takes all of our knowledge and share it to the world. It's called Ecom Email Certified. It's an end-to-end course certification program that's designed to take anyone, regardless if you're a newbie or an experienced marketer, founder, executive, agency marketer, or any marketing professional, to teach them everything we know about email marketing SMS. From deliverability to AI to copywriting to design to strategy, we cover it all. It's loaded with 175 modules and 25 hours of education combined with quizzes, community, all designed to educate, test, certify you to become a full-fledged email marketer for e-commerce. And so, since you're listening to this pod, we want to reward you with loyalty by giving you a coupon for $200 off this certification. Just jump over to ecomemailcertified.com, check the show notes, and now back to your pod. And I'll just start right here and say, if you're listening to the first one going, haha, I have ideas, I recommend starting with your highest value customers and expanding those programs to see results and optimize your process after that. Anything else you can
Yeah,
add?
100%. And really tracking like the impact carefully so you can prove out the ROI of the time investment so you can justify, continuing to expand the program or frankly not, right? But the likelihood is you probably will.
Yep.
So the next hack, kind of the second hack that we have, this is going to focus kind of on creative segmentation strategies using the data that you already have. So without needing expensive analytics tools or customer data platforms, leveraging what you already have today. So the reality is most brands are sitting on gold mines of customer data, but only use basic segments like purchased or something like didn't purchase. So with just a little bit of creativity, you can create really incredibly targeted segments using your existing kind of setup. And with that, kind of creative segmentation offers, better, kind of more complex segmentation, because then kind of more expensive type segmentation. So this type of creative stuff is a lot better for you because it's based on genuine customer insights and behaviors that actually matter and those that actually move the needle. So in terms of like this creative strategy framework, there's this kind of piece around this behavioral pattern identification. And essentially what you're going to want to do is you're going to focus here on time-based purchasing patterns. So do people buy more in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening? Are they buying more on the weekdays or the weekend? What does that look like on a per kind of subscriber basis? And then also too, there's this kind of aspect of seasonality. So where is the kind of preference for the customers? Are they buying during specific seasons like summer, or are they buying in the winter? What does that look like? Or are they buying year round? And then being able to allow for kind of product interaction and really understanding like how much time customers spend browsing and what they're browsing. And then ultimately too, right, tying in things like email engagement and kind of the frequency, how often they want to receive emails, the types of emails they want to receive, etc. And then on the next piece, there's kind of this purchase behavior creativity. So there's everything from like gift buyers versus personal buyers based on their shipping address. Is it, they are they buying every single time for a different shipping address, or is it the same one? If it's the same one and it's often, it's going to be for themselves. If it's multiple different addresses, it could be for a loved one or loved ones. And then also too, there's this kind of category of like impulse buyers versus researchers based on the time from first visit to purchase. There's different types of people. Some need tons of information and want to be handheld, and other people are ready to buy right away. And then also too, like, are these people buying a lot of different things, or are they buying a single item? And how can you apply different messages to those different subsets of people? And then the last one for this one is return customers versus one-time buyers for different retention strategies. The way in which you speak to a first-time buyer or a one-time buyer is going to be different from someone that's going to repeat purchase. And then in terms of like the content kind of engagement segmentation, you're going to want to go after, like, for example, like customers who click specific types of content or product categories. Start sending them more of what they're already telling you indirectly that they want from their clicks. High engagers versus low engagers. So how often are you going to be engaging these people? It's going to vary. And then things like, customers who spend, are spending money based off specific copy styles or promotional approaches. Some are only going to buy with a discount, and some are going to buy regardless of a discount or not. And what's great about this kind of more creative segmentation approach is that it helps you understand customer psychology and preferences without needing to run and conduct really expensive surveys or research. You're using basically actual behavior to infer preferences and motivations, which honestly is more accurate than what customers say in surveys because there's the pressure and people know that they're in the survey, so the context kind of shifts. And brands using this creative strategies and kind of for the segmentation, they're seeing upwards of 67% higher engagement and 45% better conversion rates compared to just kind of basic demographic segmentation. And then to kind of really quickly make sure that this is super crystal clear in terms of like implementing this. So having something like a shopping personality segment based on browsing behavior. So this will be something like a quick decision maker who buys within 24 hours of first visit. I love those people, right? Bring them on all day long. And then there's going to be different types of things like researchers who browse multiple times before purchasing. Deal hunters who, as I mentioned before, will only buy during some kind of promotional event. And then loyal customers, as mentioned too, like those are the folks that are going to buy irrespective of whether there's a discount or not. And then in terms of like engagement timing optimization, so there's these customers that kind of are the ones where they're having their morning coffee, they're kind of starting the day, those types of people that engage within emails in their kind of local time zone between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. And then there's a group of people, right, where they're kind of taking a lunch break, they're kind of relaxing, kicking their feet up. These are the kind of like the lunch break browsers between, let's call it 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in local times. And then there's also, right, like the evening shoppers who are kind of scrolling and doom scrolling in bed, maybe watching TV by themselves or with a spouse or significant other. And then the weekend people, there's a lot of people that are just like, I'm too tired, I'm exhausted during the week, but on the weekend, I'm going to splurge. So that was a lot. Kind of to round this out, one of our personal favorite kind of creative segments is this kind of cart abandoners who return within 7 days. versus kind of carton abandoners who need longer nurturing. That was a lot.
No, that's a lot, but you broke it down perfectly and kind of gave everybody a good explanation. And what's smart about this is it recognizes not all card abandoners are the same. Some just need a
Yes.
gentle nudge, while others need more like education and trust building. Ultimately, on that last example that you just gave.
Yeah, that's right. And you can create these segments using really basic tags and filters in most ESPs without incurring really any additional costs.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that if I were to give someone recommendation, I would say you should start with 3 to 5 creative segments and test different messaging approaches, see which one resonates best.
Yeah, and the key is choosing segments based on behaviors that actually indicate needs or preferences, not just random data points.
No, I love that. All right, let's jump into our third hack, which is systematically collecting and activating user generated content to build social proof and community without expensive content creating budgets. Look, everybody knows UGC. It's incredibly powerful for retention marketing brands because it gives an authentic social proof while also making customers feel valued and recognized when their content is featured. And this is the best part of UGC is essentially that it's free content that often performs better than like professional photography or copy because it feels more authentic and real, right? And it comes
Yes.
down to three things that I would think when you're thinking about UGC and activation. One, it's strategic content requests, right? Post purchase emails, SMS follow ups, incentivized content creating, contest campaigns. These are all like different ways to like go attack and get them, right? We understand
Yep.
that. Then it becomes this like creative content activation across channels. I'm talking about how do we take that and put it into an email to create real stories? How do you integrate into social media? How do you put it into SMS? How do you put it into your website? All of those unlock that creative activation on the channel. And the last part of it, and I think that people miss on this often, is the community building through that content recognition. Basically, monthly customer features with detailed stories and professional presentations that you can create, and you can throw them on social media to amplify them. You can have exclusive recognition programs for customers who are constantly creating content for you, which is like prizes and goals or different ways that people like, because your customers, look, believe it or not, if they like your product, you have a great brand, all they really want to do is be recognized ultimately and to be told that they're doing a thank you for the sharing and they're just grateful to have your product or service ultimately when it comes down to it. And to me, what makes UGC particularly effective for retention is that it creates this virtuous cycle. Customers love seeing their content featured, which encourages more content creation ultimately. And the customers that see the recognition want to participate, while builds almost community engagement around your brand, around that idea, right? And based around everything we've learned about UGC over time, 78% higher customer engagement and 52% increase in retention for those that are systematically like kind of being a part of a UGC program where they see UGC happen in front of them, right? And so I know what you're asking right here, and we want to make sure we're tactical about these things. How can I go implement these things? So here's 2 examples you can implement. Number one, you can say like a customer spotlight survey, right? Or customer spotlight Sunday email series, right? Each Sunday, you're going to feature one customer story each week with photos and detailed testimonial, product styling tips or creative usage. You can put a shop to look or get the product link really easily so it doesn't feel salesy, but when people are interested, that they might purchase it. And you can create a common some sense of exclusivity or some kind of featured customer brand recognition program behind it. So it's a customer spotlight Sunday email series. That's number one. The other one that I can think of real quick, it would be like a photo submission automation using pretty basic email tools. Set up an automated email sequence that requests a photo at optimal times, like right after they've purchased or 7 to 14 days or right after they've left a review. If and you can even get really granular and say based on their positive or negative review to get an automation of a photo submission, right? You can create little simple landing pages for these to create with using tools like Google, for example, and collecting those. You could use basic forms that's also available on Google. And then of course, the biggest key is to bring them all together, tag, organize, and make sure that's easy for your marketing team or your media team to bring it in for future campaign automation. One of the brands that we talk about, or we've seen out there, we love that ask for customers to submit before and after photos. It's their skincare products. So they want you to take that photo before you start. And then they're like, hey, come back with me. And we all know we love to look at ourselves. So, having pictures of that and ultimately submitting it can get into that monthly transformation email. And they want to be recognized because they did something for themselves. Like it's a great way to think about it.
Yeah, it's so powerful because it provides social proof while also showing potential results, which drives both retention and acquisition.
Yeah, and as I said, all you got to do is use a simple Google form for submission or basic email template to feature content. There's no expensive tools required.
For sure. And the key is making content submission as easy as possible while also ensuring that you collect proper permissions for usage.
Yeah, and I'll leave it with this as I wrap this part up. We recommend creating specific campaigns around content collection rather than just hoping customers will submit customers organically, aka just ask.
Hey there, it's Chase, and I hope you're enjoying the pod so far. I want to quickly talk to you about one of our sponsors. And yes, sales tax, I know no one wants to hear this. However, if you are selling online, you're probably spending way too much time, money, and stress on something that needs to be automated. Enter Kintsugi. They're named after the Japanese art of turning broke pottery into something beautiful and resilient. And that's exactly what they do for your tax chaos. Their AI monitors, files, and optimizes your sales tax automatically across all states and jurisdictions. We're talking about saving you some serious time. Their average customer saves 9 hours every single month. That's over 100 hours a year that you're going to get back to focus on actually growing your business. And here's where it gets really good. No longer will you have to have expensive tax professionals that eat into your profits. Kintsugi's AI handles compliance with a 98.3% reduction in errors. That's practically bulletproof accuracy. And they have many one-click integrations with your existing systems. That means the setup is painless, and their white glove support team has your back every step of the way. Sales tax headaches? Consider them eliminated forever. And it's for e-commerce, SaaS, and even agencies. Really, anyone that pays a sales tax needs this, and they need Kintsugi. And we have a very, very special offer for you. So if you mention myself and Jimmy, you'll get 3 months completely free. That's 3 months of automated tax filing, perfect compliance, and getting your life back. Visit trykintsugi.com and mention Jimmy and myself for your 3-month head start. Yeah, for sure. And when you do ask, right, you actually need to feature the content prominently and professionally, not just bearing it inside the corner of your newsletter. So
100%.
now on our fourth hack, this is going to involve kind of implementing gamification and milestone celebrations using basic email and SMS tools rather than expensive gamification platforms. So the reason gamification is great is because it taps into this fundamental human psychology where we love progress, achievement, and ultimately recognition. So you don't need sophisticated point systems or complex platforms to create engaging gamified experiences that are going to drive kind of customer loyalty and repeat purchases. So in terms of like this really simple gratification framework, you're going to want to just have kind of some progress tracking and milestone recognition. So anything from like first, fifth, 10th purchase, just track and kind of make sure that you are recognizing those achievements because they all are obviously great. And then also too, you could break it out by spending tier and then having some kind of VIP status notification. So as people spend more, they have a greater kind of status within the company. Um, then also too, doing like anniversary celebrations to celebrate milestones and being able to run like seasonal challenges for customer relationship milestones is also great. And then in terms of like the goal and kind of challenge campaigns, you'll want to do these, I'd say, monthly or seasonally so that you can kind of encourage specific behaviors. Make sure that you're including kind of progress updates and encouragement throughout the challenge periods, kind of reminds people and keeps people accountable. And then as people do it, give them different types of kind of achievement certificates and recognition. So that way, the next time you run it, they're incentivized to hopefully do it again. And then in terms of like the streak and kind of consistency rewards, people love those types of things, right? Like, with working out, like I have a tonal, they give you all these kind of like digital incentives to keep coming back and make you feel really good about your progress because that drives that retention. So with your type of physical products, right, having kind of different email engagement streaks and kind of customer recognition, whether it's SMS or push, et cetera, is super important. And this is going to help with habit formation and celebration. So that way these routine purchases become frequent, right? And what makes a lot of this super effective is the fact that it creates this anticipation and gives customers goals to work towards. We love that type of thing. So instead of random purchases, customers start thinking about reaching the next milestone or maintaining their streak. And when companies do this, they're seeing upwards of 34% higher lifetime values and 41% better retention rates. So in terms of actually implementing this, I would just do something simple like a loyalty level email. So create just simple tiers based on total spending or number of purchases. Send these kind of congratulation emails as people automatically, unlock them. And then just use basic email tags to kind of track and manage customer levels and just give people perks along the way with free shipping or early access. It's really all it takes. And when you can kind of create these challenges using email and SMS, just do like 30-day challenges to promote and kind of product lifestyle and usage. Send kind of daily or weekly encouragement emails so people can be reminded. And then create this community where people feel like they want to share and kind of challenge one another in a healthy way. So, one of the best examples that we've seen of this is something like a supplement brand where they celebrate customer health streaks based on kind of consistent ordering patterns.
No, I love challenges. I think we've seen this in the digital marketing world a lot. For those that are in more like the digital, I think like Russell Brunson, for example, over ClickFunnels uses a lot of these challenge funnels. But I see those in a lot of the content creators because they do absolutely work to create some kind of motivation, and it also reinforces that habit that they want customers to develop while making the routine feel like an achievement at the same time.
Yeah, and all they do is they do it just through targeted email sequence based on purchase dates. Nothing crazy, no, crazy tracking required.
Yeah, and I'll say I would recommend something with starting a simple milestone that's achievable for most customers, then adding those like advanced challenges as customers engage. No need to get
Yes.
super complex.
Yeah, for sure. You want to make these achievements feel meaningful and celebrating them in a way that makes the customers proud to share their progress.
All right, cool. No, that was great, dude. That was a great breakdown on the fourth one. And I'll kind of go to the fifth one and the final hack. And it focuses on encouraging and leveraging email replies and SMS responses to create personal connections and gather valuable customer insights. I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, well, that's really easy, but that's because you and I do this already. But a lot of brands, they don't check their inbox ultimately. And this might be the most underutilized retention tactic because most brands send emails and SMS as a one-way communication, which misses a huge opportunity for that engagement and replace relationship building. But when you actively encourage your responses and have a system that's handling them, transforms your email and SMS into a two-way channel, which is what helps someone build a relationship ultimately. So here's kind of the things that you should think about if you want to get into this, because I know you're thinking, man, I got to put someone else in there. How do I respond to this? All that stuff. So first, you've got to start with the strategic conversation starters or engagement prompts. Like, how do you ask questions, opinions, preferences, stories, and experiences of their own stories or product feedback? You've got to get in front of them and you got to create like a prompt to get them to respond. Then you've got to make sure you've got a good response system, right? You got to have a personal engagement system. A founder or team member needs to personally respond to each and every customer and customer follow-up. The customer service team also needs to be well integrated with that. And that ultimately will bring like a customer insight collection and data capture. And you've got to do something with that data because it's going to build that relationship through ongoing conversations. You got a hypersensitive customer, for example, who wants to tell you how to do 17 new product features for your product. Then listen to them and ask them every time you have an idea because they're going to want to tell you. And last, you really want to have that response activation and community building. And that's what you do is you take that as responses and you showcase them and show them off on your email and your future newsletters. And you say, this person asked this and you're responding by this, kind of like UGC ultimately. You want to create that frequently asked questions and build them into your repository and make sure that people know exactly what's going on, and even use those customer concerns and responses inside of your flows because that's exactly what people are asking. And what makes this reply campaign so powerful is they provide direct customer insights while making customers feel very heard and valued ultimately. And right, instead of guessing what customers need or want, you want getting direct feedback you want to act on immediately. And the studies show that customers who engage in two-way communication have almost a 67% higher lifetime value and 3 times more likely to refer someone. And this is free to do, just a little bit more time. So now you're going, Jimmy, I heard you. I want to do this. How do I implement this, right? So let's just pretend you're doing a challenge campaign, right? That's a simple one. Reply and literally ask people to reply with your biggest challenge, right? Send an email, ask them about their biggest challenge, respond to everyone with helpful advice or some kind of resource. Even if it's not your own resource, give them a common response that throws them into an educational series or points them at a YouTube video, whatever it might be. And then, of course, follow up with a personalized recommendation. Literally, From what I heard, this is what I'd recommend you purchase. You'd be surprised what people want. That's all they really want. And another one that I think is highly underutilized that I think people don't do, and I think AI is not the answer for this, even though a lot of people want to. This is where like companies like Live Recover nail it ultimately, but SMS conversation starters for immediate engagement. Send an SMS, simple question, invite them for a quick response. Use those responses to segment your users for targeted follow-ups ultimately. And of course, gather that information and recommend a product with it. One of those brands that I have that I love, that they send me a monthly, what's your biggest win of this month email? And I personally respond to them each reply because I really like what they're doing and they help me and I like their products. So I want to help them. And it creates this positive conversation while gathering success stories that you can use as testimonials and social proof. It's just another form of UGC ultimately. And customers who respond feel more connected to the brand and more likely to make that repeat purchase. Hey, okay, I'm disrupting the pod for just a quick 60-second break and a quick little shout out to our title sponsors of the podcast, OmniSend. Okay, for those that don't know, OmniSend is an all-in-one email and SMS marketing automation platform specifically designed for e-commerce brands. They make it super easy to engage with customers, drive repeat sales, and create those seamless personal experiences we're always talking about. Here's 3 things I love about OmniSend. First and foremost, they're trusted by over 125,000 e-commerce merchants worldwide that absolutely love them. With a 4.8 rating star with over 6,000 reviews on the Shopify App Store, it's an obvious choice for your email, SMS, and push needs. Secondly, I love great customer support. And OmniSend, they're absolutely nailing it. They're responsive, their help docs are great, and their team is absolutely fantastic. And third, they have great features and better pricing. Pricing matters just as much as features, and OmniSend, you're going to get both of those. And they have all the features you need for your store, and their pricing is absolutely fantastic. In fact, recently I just heard a story about 2 community members that made the switch. One reduced his price from $8,500 to $3,500, which is huge, but even bigger, that $3,500 included SMS, which is absolutely wild. Then another agency I just recently talked to, they just switched their entire client base over, and he's been saving his clients anywhere from 30 to 60% off their bill, which is allowing them to take that money and reinvest it on the top of the funnel so they can make more ads and make more money. OmniSend nails these 3 things that I care most about: great support, great features, and fair pricing. Plus, I just helped Chase make the move to OmniSend with his own personal email list, and their migration was super easy. They even have a team to help you support you, and they have a great automated tool to bring your contacts right over. So if you're looking to take your email marketing to the next level, I highly recommend checking out OmniSend. They got the tools, the automation, the expertise to help your brands grow and thrive. Head over to omnisend.com/send it to learn more and start scaling your customer engagement today. Now let them know Chase and Jimmy sent you. Now let's get back to the pod.
Yeah, for sure. And the key is genuinely caring about the responses and taking action based on what customers tell you.
Yeah. Oh, and we recommend starting with a simple question and gradually getting more sophisticated. You don't need to go crazy. Just literally ask the people and ask for a reply and just get them into the habit of wanting to reply to you.
And always closing the loop. If customers take time to respond, they should feel like their input does make a difference.
Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up because I feel like we gave them 5 low budget, high impact retention marketing tools or hacks that any brand can implement immediately and doesn't cost them any time, money, just time.
Yeah, for me, I'd say the most important takeaway that I had is, I'd say that creativity and personal attention often outperform expensive technology when it does come to building these customer relationships.
No, you've nailed it. These hacks work because they're focused on the fundamentals of human psychology and genuine relationships. And it's building rather than trying to automate everything. And from the guys that want to automate everything, it's the same answer. This is one of those things that you do if you really want to go into it. So here were the key takeaways for today, right? Here's the 5 things that we learned here today. 1, manual personalization and human touches will help create unexpected emotional connection that drives loyalty. Easy. 2, creative segmentation. Using the existing data that you have in your OmniSend, for example, helps you understand and create and serve your customers better without any more tools needed ultimately. UGC, we've nailed. It builds social proof. It makes your customers feel valued. There's so much great there. Chase, your breakdown on gamification and milestones and challenges was awesome. It creates that achievement psychology. Again, Doesn't require any complex tools. And then, of course, the last one, which is that strategic email reply and SMS. Basically, tap into your customers and let them tell you how to sell to them. Ultimately, it's so easy. And most of these tactics can be implemented immediately using the tools that you already have today.
Yeah, and remember, the key to all these hacks is consistency and genuine care about customer relationships, not just trying quick tricks or gimmicks for immediate results.
Right. These work because they build a long-term connection and provide real, genuine value, which is what is required for long-term loyalty and retention ultimately.
Yeah, and for listeners looking to get started, we recommend just picking one hack that resonates the most with your brand personality and customer base, and then implementing it thoroughly before moving on to the others.
Yeah, and I'll just add one thing. Don't forget, measure the impact carefully so you can prove the ROI and justify expanding these programs over time. Don't just keep doing it blindly because Chase and Jimmy told you to.
Yeah, and the brands that succeed with low budget retention are those that focus on creativity, personal attention, and genuine customer care rather than just trying to buy their way to, better relationships.
And that's it. And we'll end on that note. That is episode 45, low budgets, high impact retention marketing hacks. With that, Chase, and all the listeners out there, if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and leave us a rating on your favorite podcast listening platform. We highly recommend YouTube, so you can check out Chase's cool shirt as well. You can follow us on the show on X, LinkedIn, YouTube, IG, TikTok, etc. Now, there's a few ways to connect with us if you've made it to the end of this pod. If you don't know already, we've got a great newsletter, ecomemailmarketer.com. We've got a 12 brand breakdown that we're giving away right now on the newsletter. So if you haven't grabbed it yet, go jump over, subscribe and grab that newsletter because you're going to get a great breakdown. Secondly, we've got a certification program, an A to Z, 25 hours of training, full exam certification. It's called ecomemailcertified.com. We'll throw a coupon and a link right in the show description, so you should go check that out. And last but not least, you can follow us on social media. Chase, where can they find you?
Most platforms, Chase Dimond, no A in Diamond.
Yep. And you can find me mostly on LinkedIn and X today, though I'm on some other platforms. However, that's where I mainly post and contribute into the web. With that, Chase, thanks for as always for being on the pod, and we'll see everyone next week.
Cheers.
From the open to the click, they're the masters of the flow. Just watch your list grow and your leads turn to go. Did we retain you so far, or do we have to extend it? If you want results, you know you gotta send it. Yeah, you know you gotta send it. Yeah, you know you gotta send it. Yeah, you know you gotta send it.